Well, it finally happened. Something that no one saw coming. Twitch's biggest streamer, the French-Canadian that talks like predictive text on my phone, has finally left Twitch. It was announced yesterday that XQC has signed a contract with rival streaming platform Kick for 2 years, and in return, he gets $100 million. Now, I do have to mention that this is not an exclusivity deal. He doesn't have to stream exclusively onto Kick. He can stream anywhere if he wants. He can come over to YouTube if he wanted. But this is definitely the beginning of the end if the biggest streamer is now moving over to rival platforms to stream over there. This is the equivalent of him quitting Burger King to work part-time at McDonald's. It might not seem like a big step, but trust me, there are plans in motion. There are big things happening. Now, in the past, I've talked about the many missteps that Twitch have taken, but this is truly their biggest blow. This is their arrow in the knee. I did not think I'd be making a Skyrim reference in this video, but also I didn't think XQC would ever be leaving Twitch. Now, Kick for a while has always had a really competitive angle to try and beat Twitch. For example, on Twitch and on YouTube, if you subscribe or become a member, it's a 70-30 split. But on Kick, it's 95-5, which is insane. So that means you get 95% of the profits, and Kick, they only take 5%. Well, it's a little bit more complicated with Twitch. They used to have 70-30, but then they didn't. But now they're bringing it back with like a Partner Plus program. It's nice to know that Twitch have basically gone back to what they had before. I talk about YouTube being a competitor here, but they're really not at the minute anyway. The only thing you watch on YouTube on live streams is basically IShowSpeed dive bombing into the camera. Now, the biggest question that everyone is asking, where is Kick getting their money from? It makes no sense. If Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, which is one of the biggest companies in the world, can't beat Kick, then where is Kick getting their money from? And why is XQC being paid $3 million more than LeBron James for doing 2 years the same as he is? You are comparing LeBron James, one of the best NBA basketballers of all time, I got it blocked in my arm, to a guy that screams in GTA 5 RP. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention that he watches MasterChef sometimes as well. One thing I do want to mention, I said MasterChef as a joke, but when XQC did his first stream on Kick, like, you know, to get everyone hyped up, my editor sent me this screenshot of X in an empty Herman Miller chair, not even in the room, and of course, what is playing but MasterChef. You know what? A lot of people change when they get more money. I'm really happy to say that X, he will never change. No matter how much money enters his bank account, he will never change. Now, a little bit of lore here. Kick is owned by Ed Craven. This is a guy who just completely bleeds money. It's insane. I actually read an article on him a couple months ago, and he left a $10,000 tip at a restaurant just because he liked the food there. And he gets that money from being affiliated with Stake, which I'm sure, as you know, is one of the most successful gambling companies in the world, starting off in Australia and just spreading like a disease everywhere. If you still don't know what Stake is, it's that company that Drake was a part of, and Drake did like a stream shilling it, and then when Drake actually went onto Kick to give someone subs, his card got declined, and that also kind of went semi-viral.
Always the massaging guy. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but we're here.
Oh, call was declined.
Embarrassing.
Call was declined.
By the way, she's like getting a full foot massage, and we're just
not even.
Basically, from what I gather, Ed Craven, he wants to popularize people watching gambling again, because as you know, on Twitch, they kind of cracked down on that. Slots, any kind of gambling, most of it was banned. But he wants to popularize all kinds of gambling and stuff around it. Like, for example, you watch your favorite streamer open a CSGO knife, do slots, anything that gives a dopamine rush and also amplifies that important parasocial relationship. I do want to say what's kind of funny, like me talking about this. Do you remember when streaming platforms were about playing video games? Do you remember that? No? Me neither. I think it really shows that there's a huge shift between content, because at the minute, unless it's like, you know, a new video game or some kind of like, you know, ESL league, something competitive, no one really cares about video games anymore. Most streaming platforms that you go onto, the two most popular things will be just chatting, where someone's just like doing something in their room, and gambling, like slots. IShowSpeed, who I mentioned earlier, is the single biggest streamer on YouTube, and he barely plays video games, and if he does, it's usually only a horror game to do some kind of like React Andy situation. Now, more on XQC, him being offered $100 million for 2 years. That is insane, and rightfully so. It made many Twitch streamers incredibly salty. I mean, at one point, you had Asmongold just atting Kick for some kind of contract so he can escape Twitch. And then you had more diehard supporters like Pokimane basically saying that Kick can only exist because Twitch allows it to.
Keep doubting Kick, it's already taken over. Fire emoji. Respectfully, people that say stuff like this, you don't understand that Kick makes Twitch money. Like, Kick is using Twitch's services. And if Twitch really wanted, they could just stop giving these services to Kick. But right now, they're just sitting back like, thanks, I guess. But also, honestly, I don't really care that much. Yeah. Well, AWS is Amazon and Twitch is Amazon, so in a way it is. But also, I'm just a random streamer. I'm just saying what I've gathered.
I get where she's coming from, but the only problem with her argument is that Kick is actually using Amazon service, not Twitch. So Twitch itself does not benefit in any feasible way. Now, what you could argue is that Amazon is benefiting. They might even be benefiting more from Kick than from Twitch. Now, if you go into Kick right now, like I said earlier, the top categories are slots and casinos, which makes sense because at the minute, the majority of big streamers that are over on Kick, they're gamblers. Like, for example, Trainwreck. So I think like partly owns Kick. He was basically a gambling Andy until all of his funds were cut short because slots were banned on Twitch. And honestly, I think the best thing Kick could have done is hire XQC, because at the minute, I think the biggest streamer that is on Kick is Adin Ross, and you might know him as quite a controversial character. He basically turned from Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader in the span of several hours. I made a video on him like over 3 months ago, and he would go on these like bizarre rants, like for example, if he had pronouns, he wouldn't have been banned on Twitch, which, you know, some people would probably unironically believe. That is until he starts streaming, and then he tells like viewers to basically kill their friends or their brothers for a joke.
All right, I gotta hide this shit. I gotta hide this shit behind this story.
Listen, he's a stomping. Bro, if you slit his throat, I think I'll give you 20K. I'm kidding.
But yeah, all in all, it is insane how much Kick is growing right now. I don't know if it's going to be like the biggest streaming platform. At the minute, it is basically being fueled by a bunch of degenerate gamblers. It's not really like old money or any kind of like professional money. It is just gambling. But honestly, that being said, I am slating Kick a little bit. But Kick, if any of you watch him, you want to sign me up, give me some kind of like exclusivity bonus or some kind of deal, I'll take it, man. I signed absolutely nothing from joining YouTube. I'm only here because Twitch kicked me out. So, you know, I don't know. I'm talking, let me see. Let's say 50 mil. 50, I'm being reasonable. 50 mil a week. Now, that's me being very reasonable. You're not going to get another offer like that. But yeah, overall, what's the moral of today's story? Don't bother. Don't bother with anything. Don't bother with careers, aspirations, jobs, because a man that 2 people on the planet can actually understand made $100 million by leaving his chair empty while he plays MasterChef.